Yo, hunters and ladies, we got another beta video. This time we're gonna start with this series of the starting areas in Cataclysm, and this time it's the Orc and the Blood Elves. Now, the reason I put this in together was because there's not that huge changes actually. Now right now it is the introduction video into the Orc area. And the reason I have music and I'm commentating over it is because there's no actual commentating or that storyline as you start the character and log in to the first time. So it's not that big of a deal that I'm talking over it. But the difference between the quests and the basic storyline of the starting areas for both the Blood Elves and the Orcs are pretty much like they are now. Although I must admit I did find the Orc starting area a little bit confusing. Probably because you have that specific orange color, and then you have your question marks and exclamation marks, and they have this yellow color, and it sort of bleeds into each other, blends in. So that was a little bit confusing, not confusing, but it was. I just thought it was a little bit difficult to see once you actually came in there. Now, to be honest, there was one quest that I thought was a little bit annoying. It wasn't a big problem, but you killed some peons, some lazy peons. This quest is actually in the game right now. They're out chopping wood, and the problem with them was that they're lying on the job, and you smack them with the stick you get. And I was running back and forth between these guys, and as I was getting closer to them, they were standing up, and you had to smack 5 of these guys, and there's only like 7 in the entire map. So I ran back and forth a couple of times, and I decided to not take it out and leave it in. That I ran back and forth, just to show you that's the problem with it. But problem. Maybe it's not a big problem. It was just a little bit annoying. But again, as a seasoned gamer, a seasoned WoW gamer, you don't really want to waste time at this point. You just want to get in as quickly as possible and start working on your character. But other than that, the quest chains are pretty much the same. Although I would say I am going to shut up when you see that. But there is a new video voice recording for the Blood Elves. They're actually not the bad guys anymore. Not as bad as they used to be. If you remember, usually they were mana, need more mana. Or basically mana zombies. They're trying not to be anymore. At least that's the feeling you get. And of course, I think isn't his name something Kalthus Sunstrider, the old boss? He's dead. Finally! It took us a long time to get that bastard down, but finally he's dead. And so I wasn't smart enough to go in and check who is new leader. I forgot about that. But I have created the Forsaken character that I haven't recorded the footage yet, but what I will do there is I will go past Silvermoon City and see who the new leader for the Blood Elves are. Just to see who it is. And also, patch 4.0.1 went live yesterday. It's really cool. I'm very happy about it. I like that we are getting the new features before Cataclysm comes out, so we can start working on getting to know the new setup of our characters a little bit more before the game actually comes out. Now this of course means that we're gonna have earthquakes now. We have felt a little bit about it earlier. It was once or twice it happened, but when I was setting my talents on my main, there were 2 earthquakes in Darnassus with very short succession. We're going to see more stuff like this. We're also going to see more stuff leading up to Cataclysm in the next few months, or the next about 6 to 7 weeks. But this also meant that a lot of characters or a lot of classes are completely different. And not to be self-centered, but I believe actually that hunters are the class that has the biggest change of all classes. Not to mention, I mean, if you take for example the paladins, they're getting that holy power bar in the top of the screen. Or you have your warlocks, they are getting the shards now. Instead of filling up backspace, it's also on your screen. But the basic way of how those classes work are still the same. For hunters, we are getting a completely different battle system. Now, in all honesty, I do actually believe that hunters are finally the way they were supposed to be from the beginning. And it's never really felt correct that hunters were a mana class, because we're not spellcasters. We have skills that are very much into physical damage, but we're still ranged. So that we're losing mana and getting a focus is way cooler, and it feels like the hunter has finally come home. Now this also means that hunters are basically starting from square one when it comes to playing their character. So the next few months are going to be very much into learning how to play the hunter so that we can be ready when Cataclysm do come out and we get to level 85 and we start to work on the heroics and later on the raids. And as you know, Blizzard has mentioned that they are putting the heroic back in heroics, so they are definitely more difficult. Now, I won't be making heroic videos, because I don't have the time before Cataclysm comes out to do that, but I might just end up doing some videos about the heroic instances anyway when Cataclysm do come out, so I can do a little bit more detailed about the instances and about the heroic encounters and all that. There is also the thing of the focus it needs a little bit more of a tweak. My experience in the beta, just an example, my experience in the beta with full focus, in the beta I can shoot off 3 multi-shots. On the live servers I can only shoot off 2. And the focus regen is a little bit slower. Now this causes a minor problem. We really need to stand still so we can use our steady shot so we can regain our focus. So if there is a fight where we have to move, we are going to be very, very crippled. So I'm hoping that within the next few months they're going to tweak the system a little bit and make everything work better. But I'm really, really happy about the way the hunter works now. Okay, so right now it's time for the Blood Elf introduction, so I'll shut up and you can watch it and we'll talk when it's done.
The past few years have seen unprecedented changes within the eternal land of Quel'Thalas. The Blood Elves, following the will of their crazed leader Kael'thas Sunstrider, channeled dangerous, chaotic magics to transform their sacred Sunwell into a gateway of unspeakable evil. While Kael'thas and his demonic masters were eventually defeated, a different kind of transformation occurred within the Sunwell itself, as a dying Naru sacrificed its life essence to reignite the Sunwell into a fount of holy energy. Now, the Blood Elf regent Lorthamar Theron sees a new hope on the horizon for his people. Over time, the Sunwell's light could cure the Blood Elves of their cursed state. But many still cling to the arcane powers they've procured and are hesitant to relinquish them. As one of the remaining Blood Elves, you must fight to protect Quel'Thalas and help redeem the soul of your ancient people.
So that was the Blood Elf introduction. The if you might remember the old one was just, again, what I mentioned earlier, a more mana. But this is it's a little bit more of a, we want to better ourselves. I think it's a cool way of a character transforming into something else. You even could say evolving. And you're actually going to see a lot of this in Cataclysm. Now the questing zones and the quests are just about the same. I had a little bit of a problem with some bugs. You have the arcane torrent that the Blood Elves have as a racial ability, where you can throw it down. Any enemies within a specific, I think it's 6 yards, they get stunned for 3 seconds or something like that, and you regain some mana. Or in a hunter's case, you regain focus, but I just couldn't get it to work. It didn't work the way it was supposed to, but that's typical beta. There has been a lot of bugs with the beta, and I did actually start recording gnomes. You actually saw that, the first part of the gnome starting area, where I decided to cut it off in the middle of a quest because it didn't work. And later on the quest chain was broken too, and some of the other classes, some of the other races are also broken. But it's a typical beta, but I'm hoping that most of this have been fixed as I progress into doing more of these racial starting zones. Now you might be wondering why I'm choosing to play a hunter when I do play a hunter on the live servers. Well, the explanation for that is pretty simple. The hunter class I know very, very well, which means when I'm beta testing, I want to do it serious. There are a lot of people that play beta just to try it out, and they can do nothing else but complain because things doesn't work. Well, hey, it's a beta. The reason you are in beta testing is to find the problems, report them, so they can fix them. And the fact that I do play a hunter on live servers, that means that I know the character and the class very well. So it's easier for me to find small specific problems in a hunter than it is, say, me trying a druid or some other class. And that's why I choose hunter. So on all these types of videos that you will see, I am going to choose the hunter if it's available for that specific race. I wish they had implemented the new guild leveling system in this patch, but it looks like we're not going to get that until the Cataclysm patch goes live, so when Cataclysm does go live as a game. I wouldn't mind if they have given us at least the first 5-6 levels. Now what those give is a leveling bonus. You can get the first one, if I remember correctly, was 5%. And you can get up to 10% extra experience from quests and killing mobs. There is also the 5 and 10% of gold to the guild vaults, which is a good thing because that makes it everyone helps the guild get some gold. Now, it doesn't work like you are going to lose gold. Let's say you have a mob that drops 80 silver. You're not going to lose 8 silver to the guild bank. You are going to get your 8 silver or 80 silver no matter what. But because of the guild buff, the guild is getting 8 silver put into the guild bank, so everyone is helping to get some money in the guild. And of course, depending on how big is the guild, if you have 10 or 15 active players, you're not going to get gold as fast as, let's say you have, I don't know, 100 or 200 or 500 players. And of course, if you're a heavy raiding guild, you're going to make a pretty nice buck, because if you have the 10% guild buff when it comes to gold and you're killing a boss, and let's say this boss drops about 120 gold, well, that's a nice bonus for the guild. You also get some bonuses for honor points. You can get a few different buffs. You can get a riding speed increase, and there are some nice guild buffs that you're gonna get, and everyone is getting. The guild perk you get for level 1 will be the same no matter what guild you play on or what server you play on. Also, archaeology is also very fun. I have tried it a little bit, and I'll see if I can't make a video to give you a minor introduction into archaeology. It works very well. I can't remember the name of the guy exactly that teaches you archaeology, but it's the same guy that you meet outside Suleiman. I think it's called Harrison Jones, if I remember correctly. It's the Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones thing that they have. And of course, he is doing some lines from the movie. For example, at one point, he is talking about professors. If you're looking for treasure or something, go and talk to professors what you do. His class is two rows or 2 doors down and stuff like that. So you have these funny quotes from the Indiana Jones movies. I thought that was quite funny. But the archaeology works very well. There are some very, very, very nice bonus that you can get. Some cool mounts, and I haven't learned that much yet. I haven't gotten enough to actually start learning stuff about a specific faction. For example, you have stuff like dwarven archaeology, and you need to find some specific pieces to learn some about the history, and then you can continue on and learn more stuff, gather more materials, and from excavation, get specific recipes or stuff where you can learn how to craft specific things and create them so you can make mounts and such. And it's definitely going to be one of those when you're waiting for a raid or something to start and you have a little bit of time on your hands. This archaeology is going to be a very good profession to go out and do, because it doesn't require you that insane amount of concentration. You can easily do it in the background and have a little bit of fun while talking with your guildies on Ventrilo. Well, that was everything from me for now, so thank you very much for watching and for letting me steal about 15 minutes of your time. Remember to subscribe so you can keep up to date on more Cataclysm videos, and follow my Facebook group. The next few weeks are going to be a little bit interesting because of BlizzCon, so check it out, and I hope to see you very soon. So have a great weekend. See you guys.